What's up, you guys? Steve here with another stimulus package update, as today is the day. It was the deadline that was self-imposed by Nancy Pelosi to come to an agreement. Well, there's been news rolling out all day, so I'm going to get you guys caught up on what has unfolded. And I hate to sound like a YouTube cliche broken record, but we have good news and not so good news. I'm going to be sharing with you guys an interview that Nancy Pelosi had today, pretty much explaining what's happened. And then also, we just heard of some really good news that came out. I'm going to be sharing with you guys. And also, though, we need to address the Senate. So I'm going to get you guys caught up on everything that's taking place and what unfolded today. And if you guys like that, before we dive in, if you could do me a quick favor, it'll just take a second. Be sure to smash the like button. I would appreciate it. It helps out the channel. Interaction is the key to YouTube success. So like button and comments. And also, if you like these updates and would like to stay up to date on everything that's rolling out, be sure to smash the subscribe button and the notification bell. So that way, as soon as I upload these videos, you can be notified right away. And if you don't already, be sure to follow me on Instagram at SteveRam3. All right, you guys. So first, I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm going to dive right into the not so good news and let you guys know that you're going to see here in the interview from Nancy Pelosi that in so many words, she's essentially going to say that they did not meet their self-imposed deadline. So they're going to be extending their imaginary deadline that they created. And essentially that means that we are now within 2 weeks of the elections, which means even if they come to a stimulus package agreement at this point, it's very unlikely we will see the provisions before the elections. So we're going to dive into the clip, and then after that, I'm going to be sharing with you the news that just recently came out that is the good news. So first, though, let's take a look at Nancy Pelosi's interview.
Do you have language in front of you right now that is close enough that you think you can get to a deal, at least in principle, in one more phone call with the Secretary of the Treasury?
On that score, they've come a long way on that, I have to admit. So
some positive news from Nancy Pelosi.
Today, let me just say what the 48 hours was designed to do. For us to exchange all the unresolved issues. What is your best language? What is our best language? And let's see where we are. Now let's weigh the equities. We all want to get an agreement because people need it. And it's urgent. And our economy needs it. And so that's what, hopefully by the end of the day today, we'll know where we all are. We have one little bump in the road with the Appropriations Committee that I'm not sure they're going to be ready, but let's hope they are. We're starting to write the bill, and then we can have the negotiation. But I'm optimistic.
So that sounds good right there.
Legislation is tough because you're coming from two different perspectives on it. But as long as we know that we want to keep the American people safe, that means, though, that we have to support our state and local, our first responders, our healthcare providers, our teachers, et cetera, that we have to depend on science to crush the virus. And we want to put money in the pockets of the American people so that they can have some confidence and spend in our consumer economy to inject demand and create jobs.
So take us through the process, if you could. You're in the room, we're not in the room. Yeah. What sort of language do you need to be able to say, yes, we think this will work? I assume you don't need the entire bill to be written. That takes some time. But what do you need to have reduced to writing so you know you have a meeting of the minds enough to say, yes, we can make this work?
Well, we are, again, things have different weight. But as I said, honor our heroes, crush the virus, money in the pockets of. And within those, we have to have more money for state and local because those are the people who meet our needs. They are getting fired, going on unemployment. That doesn't seem to make sense. So that's one place where we need more work.
So one of the issues,
we have still some language that we have to deal with in terms of health beyond the testing, tracing, treatment, mask, all that. We have to have better language, improve the language on healthcare providers as well as the vaccine, and it's within range. And then in terms of money in the pockets, we're still fighting for an earned income tax credit, child tax credit, refundability for the low-income working families in our country. As you have seen the statistics over the weekend, 6 to 8 million more people will fall into poverty because of COVID, and we think we should be investing in them. Economists tell us, help the neediest, they'll spend it first. So it's the right thing to do from a compassion standpoint, but it is also from an economic standpoint. And then we just have some differences within there. But now but the two bookends of our differences right now.
How her tone is so much different.
One is state and local, and the other is liability.
So there's the
and right
two
now, by the time I speak to the secretary, at 3 o'clock, I think that we will have language countering what they have in the bill, because safety in the workplace for us is not an issue. It's not a provision in a bill. It is a value. These families, many of them essential workers, go to work. If they don't even get unemployment insurance if they're concerned about going to work because they might catch the virus because the provisions haven't taken place. So again, safety in the workplace, very important. I'm hoping that we can come to terms on that.
All right, so I'm going to stop the clip right there, and there you can hear that she said that there's still 2 items that they still need to address that they haven't come to an agreement on, and they're still writing the language for it. So essentially, they are not done with the deal as of today. All right, so now we're going to take a look at this next clip that's from the same interview where Nancy Pelosi discusses further the current state of stimulus and her talks with Steve Mnuchin.
You said, let's go forward to Election Day and back time it, as we'd say in the broadcasting business. What do we have to do between here and there to get there? Assuming that you do have the basic terms you've worked out and you work on, when do you have to have the language of a bill? When do you have to call back your members for a vote? What does the next week or 10 days look like?
Well, of course, the final piece is the president signing the legislation. And for that to happen, it not only has to pass the House, but it has to pass the Senate. And you know, we're getting mixed messages. The Senate's saying one thing, the president says he wants to spend more money than I do. But as I've said before, it's not about the money, it's how the money is spent. You know, we want a child tax credit for the poorest kids in America. They want to retain a tax net operating loss benefit for the wealthiest people in our country. And we're saying, well, you know, how do we reconcile that?
Which was in the CARES Act, right? That was actually in the CARES Act.
The CARES, and we take it out, and they're insisting on keeping it in. So as I say, it's never, not always just the price, it's the money and how it is spent. So that's one thing. So anyway, engineering back to have it for Election Day, I would think we'd have to have this finished by the end of next week. In order for that to do it, we'd have to have our legislation all written by the end of this week. Then it's, you know, you have all your procedural 72 hours of review for the world to see, and then it would come to the floor, and then the Senate, you know, has different procedures, so it would have to be. But this is really to have it for. Now, I'm not. You know, we could still continue the negotiation. It might not be finished by Election Day.
Right.
It may be finished by Election Day, but I want it by the next Friday. See, I wanted it at a time where people could pay the rent. November 1st, rent day. Let's see if we can't do that. If that's not possible, it doesn't mean that the virus should not still be crushed. That we shouldn't be putting money in the pockets of the American people, that we shouldn't be honoring our heroes. We still should have a responsibility to continue the negotiations should we just not come to enough of an agreement, a reconciliation of our differences. But we're on a path, and you have to be optimistic. As I say, as the Secretary and I say to each other, if we didn't believe we could get this done, why would we even be talking?
All right, so that's pretty much the end of the interview where we hear Nancy Pelosi saying that they still want to continue the discussions. However, it's not looking like they're going to have an agreement in time before the elections. But they're going to continue, which is good. So hopefully we will see an agreement and something will pass. It's just likely provisions will come out after the elections. All right, you guys. So now the good news that we received not too long ago today is that they're actually drafting up the official bill. So they are making progress in the right direction. That's really good news, because even though we're not going to be seeing this by the deadline and it might not come till after, they actually are assembling the bill, and they're calling it the agreement bill, which is good news because up until this point, it's essentially been discussions, but now they're getting it on paper, so that's a step in the right direction. So hopefully we'll be seeing this official agreement bill with all of the provisions and all of the details laid out here very soon. All right, you guys, so one of the last things we got to discuss is the Senate, because keep in mind the fact that even if this is approved by the President and the House, we also need the Senate to agree on it as well. And originally we heard Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell say that he would support anything that White House officials agreed upon with Nancy Pelosi. But now he's kind of changed that up a little bit. And it might be the fact that before White House officials were taking the stance of $1 trillion, and now they've come up to $2 trillion, they've doubled it, and now Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell is saying he doesn't know that the fiscally responsible Republicans in the Senate are going to back and support a bill that large. He's saying he doesn't know if they're going to do it. And in fact, it was rumored that today, during lunch, he went and told White House officials, don't do it, that we're not going to be able to pass this in the Senate. So he said he's still going to be presenting it on the Senate floor and put out a vote, but he is not confident in the support that they might get from Republicans to pass this. So we're going to see. Keep in mind the fact, though, that this was actually mentioned at President Donald Trump's town hall discussion. They asked him, what about the Republicans in the Senate? They do not support a large stimulus package. And President Donald Trump's response to that was, I will get support from Republicans in the Senate, but first, I need a stimulus package deal, an agreement between Nancy Pelosi and Steve Mnuchin. He said, I need to get an agreement. First, I got to deal with Nancy. Then he said he will deal with Republicans in the Senate. So we're going to see what's going to unfold with that. But right now, that is also a big question mark on the table. All right, you guys, so that is your stimulus package update as of today, Tuesday, October the 20th. I wanted to make sure I hop on here and let you guys know what unfolded. There was a lot that took place, and I wanted to make sure that you guys weren't just left hanging. I wanted to come on here and let you know what unfolded. So as more information rolls out, hopefully we'll see a stimulus package agreement here soon. I will be sure to share it here on the channel. And once again, if you like that and you haven't already, if you could just do me a quick favor, smash the like button. It helps out the channel. Thank you so much. And also, once again, if you'd like to stay up to date on everything rolling out, smash the subscribe button and the notification bell so that way as soon as I upload these videos, you can be notified right away. And if you don't already, be sure to follow me on Instagram at SteveRam3. Well, you guys, I hope this reaches you well. And once again, I'll be sure to share any updates that roll out. Hopefully, I'll have good news here to share with you guys soon. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.